Hi everyone, Professor Ming Lu back here again today with another exciting video. A lot of my students, well, not a lot of my students, but a few of my students each year mentioned to me they actually want to go to law school. So because of that, I decided to invite an old friend of mine, Brad Gould, to come speak today. So Brad is currently an attorney at the law firm Dean Mead. In regards to his educational background, he has a bachelor's degree in accounting from University of Florida. He also has his master's degree in accounting/taxation from the University of Florida. And lastly, he has a law degree from the University of Florida. So I actually first met Brad when he and I were working in Deloitte's San Francisco office many years ago. What I really remember about Brad was that he was a really great guy. He was very charismatic. And every time I fell down, he was always there to cheer me up. So since then, unfortunately, we've separated. We moved to different parts. He's moved to Florida, and I moved to Los Angeles. Currently, Brad, as I said, he works for the law firm Dean Mead. So Brad, I'm really happy you're here today for us to reconnect after so many years. Thank you so much for coming to do this video with me, because I know my students will really benefit from your words of wisdom on talking about how accounting and law can lead to a successful career.
It's my pleasure, Ming.
All right. So my first question for you is, can you briefly share with my students what you do and what a typical day is like for you? If there is even a typical day.
Sure. So I'm a tax and estate planning attorney in a mid-sized firm in sort of a smaller town. So I don't really have a typical day. It could be anything. But on any given day, I'm addressing new client issues that pop up, putting out fires, hopefully getting to some of the things and client projects I was planning on working on for the day. For example, for today, I'm working on the formation of some business entities for an athlete in connection with a product that they're developing and getting that trademarked. I worked on the sale of a business and some fallout or issues that came with getting some money released out of escrow that actually happened a year ago. I worked on some trust and estate litigation related issues and working on an estate plan for a client that's having an event that they need some guidance on. Typically, I'm researching issues, finding solutions, drafting documents, a lot of communication, keeping people in the loop and clients in the loop as to what I'm doing or other stakeholders. Like any business, you got to pay attention to your billing and collections. You got to make money and bring in the money to pay for your staff and your expenses and hopefully yourself as well. Always paying attention to marketing and new business. So, every piece of the day there's some devotion to marketing efforts. And then training and developing the next generation of lawyers and the paralegals. You need to have them have the experience and professional development so that they can, you can count on them to undertake projects and hand things off. So it's a little bit of everything.
Thank you. As I said, a number of my accounting students want to get a law degree. So I was, it appears to be a very popular trend nowadays. So as I mentioned before, you have a bachelor's degree in accounting and a master's degree in accounting/taxation. So why did you get a law degree instead of starting in the accounting profession right away? You could have, right? And also, do you recommend students get just get the master's degree, or do you recommend that they get both the master's degree? Do you recommend they get one of these degrees, either the master's degree or the law degree, or do you recommend they get both of these degrees?
Well, ultimately, Ming, it's what you want to do. So I wanted to be an attorney, and I knew that before I went into the accounting school or declared accounting as my major. In order to be an attorney in any state in the country, you have to have a law degree. So that was the given. But I had an opportunity to get an advanced accounting degree, the graduate degree, and stay within a time frame that I wanted to work in. And so that's how I took that path. For me, I wasn't sure though, what if I didn't like being a lawyer? That's what I wanted to do, but what if I ultimately didn't like that choice? And probably for the reasons I wouldn't like being an attorney, I probably wouldn't like being an accountant. So I don't know that I made the smartest decision from that perspective, because if you want to go to law school, you can have a degree in anything. So the real question is, what do you want to do? if you want to be an accountant, or you're not 100% sure, but you think you want to be an accountant, then go into accounting. If you don't like it, you can always go to law school at a later date. But if you want to be an attorney from day one, that's the path you have to go. And you have to look at the accounting degrees as tools in your quiver.
Wonderful. Thank you. Now, you finished your education all in one shot, right? You did your undergraduate degree, then you right away did your master's, and then you did your law degree. Now, I also know some people who got their undergraduate degree first, worked for a few years in accounting, and then decided to go to law school. So what are your thoughts on how people should approach the timing of completing their law degree? Should they do it your way? Do you think that way is better? Just get all the academic stuff out of the way while you're used to studying? Or do you think it's better that students do the way that I've seen other people do it, which is just to work first and then go back to school?
Candidly, Ming, it's tied to the last question, right? Do what you want to do at the end of the day. I mean, if you want to be an attorney, then you got to get to that goal. But if you're not sure, or, hey, you know what? I think I really like being an accountant. That's the path you have to go. And if you don't like something, you can always go and get your law degree, or frankly, you can go back and get a graduate degree in accounting if you think that that's the appropriate path that you want to take. If you don't like if you like being the accountant, and you have that, and then you go and pay for law school and spend 3 years in law school, and you go and you're an attorney, you don't like it, you've wasted the money, you've wasted the time and the lost income during the period of years. But you did gain the education of from law school, which does help in some ways. So I think it really boils down to what somebody wants. There's nothing bad about taking some time off. You get some real work-life experience before moving on to the next phase of your education. And then there's something to be said for staying in school. Like you said, you're in the school studying mindset, and it's awfully hard, I think, to go from being in a profession and go back into school again. It is a different way of thinking. So I think the ultimate answer is, if you know what you want to do it. And then if you're not sure, find yourself.
But you have both a CPA license and a law license, which is actually very, very rare, right? Because just passing the CPA exam by itself is very difficult. And also passing the bar exam, I know, is not an easy task. So are there certain career fields that prefer to hire professionals like yourself who have both licenses? I'm thinking maybe like state and local tax, gift and estate planning. Any thoughts on that?
It's more of, who do you want to work for, and what the law or regulations are to requiring it. So for example, if you want to be an attorney, you need to have a law license. Okay. You need to have a law degree, and you need to be licensed to practice law. You cannot practice law without a law license. Conversely, if you don't want to practice law, getting your license isn't that important. And I do run into people who have a law degree, but they don't practice as an attorney, and they don't have their license. In a CPA realm, in the accounting realm, you really don't need a CPA license if you want to be an accountant. You do need it if you want to be a certified public accountant, if you want to issue audit statements, or you want to be a partner in an accounting firm. To be a partner in an accounting firm, generally you need to be a CPA. You need to have that license in some state that the firm is practicing in order to be a partner. If you don't have your CPA license, but for example, let's say you're a tax attorney working at a Big Four accounting firm, you might become a principal, which gets you there in comp, but you're still not a partner. So it does boil down to, what is the legal requirements for the position you want. Not so much, I'm practicing state and local area tax, or I'm practicing state and gift tax. It's more of, what do I want to do?
Got it. Well, last question for you. I always ask this to all of my guests, right? Because I consider you all to be very successful individuals, people that my students will someday aspire to be. So can you give my students some tips about how to be successful in one's career or life in general? I know you probably have a lot to share, but could you just give them your top 3 tips for success?
Sure. The most important one is, to be successful at anything, by any metric, you need to work hard. Doesn't matter what it is. no matter your career, you got to work at it. You got to work at personal relationships. You got to work at building business. You got to work on your technical skills. You got to work hard. You need to be honest with your limits and flaws and work on overcoming them. I don't want to hear what I did right. I want to hear what I did wrong so I can learn from it. And the third, which is what I was very guilty of, I really let myself get out of shape. I focused on work, 2 kids, didn't really pay attention to myself. So the third thing is to make time for yourself physically and emotionally. Don't let yourself get out of hand and don't miss out on life while you're working. Find time for yourself.
Well, those are great tips, Brad. And thank you so much for coming to do this video with me. I know you're a super, super busy person. So again, thank you so much. It was great catching up with you. And hopefully we'll be able to see each other in the near future when you ever visit California.
That's my pleasure, Ming.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.